Pleasure to welcome Brian Kelly back to the show. And Brian, given all that I just said about the stakes this week, I always appreciate it, but man, given what's on the table this week as we start, thank you.
Well, again, anytime you get Alabama, LSU together and Tiger Stadium, it just creates the atmosphere in college football that we all love. A passionate fan base, two great programs coming together on Saturday night and prime time. It's just what college football is all about.
It is. I'm going to get to some specifics about that in a minute. You guys are coming off a bye, Brian, and that last game was, and I can't frame it any other way, it's clearly the worst 30 minutes of football you guys have had because everything went wrong in College Station. Things just spiral out of control. And I'm curious, after that loss to Texas A&M, how quickly you pivot from what went wrong there to what has to go right in this next game, which is Saturday against Bama.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first 30 minutes, right? And you're on the road. You have to prepare for over 100,000 people, and you've got game control at halftime, 17-7. So you know what you're capable of. So then you look at, okay, what went wrong? Well, first of all, we turned the football over 3 times. And in any atmosphere and against any opponent, if you do that, you put yourself in jeopardy of losing the football game. Secondly, we drove their starting quarterback out of the game. We didn't handle the adjustments necessary when they brought in a running quarterback. And then play 4 quarters of football. If we do that, these guys know how to prepare, and we have to. We're playing a really, really good opponent in Alabama.
I was mentioning that, obviously, on the way in, who you play, and it's not officially a playoff game. November 9th would be the earliest playoff game we've ever seen, but essentially it is, and I think you get that. Your team gets that. Understanding that, Brian, how is that baked into the preparation and the messaging throughout the week about the stakes for Saturday?
Well, I don't think you really have to do it. Look, it's impossible to take away their cell phones. It's impossible for them, to be in a cocoon. They listen to those things. But really, the messaging is from day one when they come to LSU, and that is they have to have a process, a way of doing things, and be consistent about that.
Years ago, I was down there in Baton Rouge in Tiger Stadium for a night game between LSU and Alabama. And when I came back, I came on the air and I said, it's the best atmosphere for a sporting event I have ever seen. It's been over a decade, and that remains the best atmosphere for a sporting event I have ever seen. Given that, those fans can't help heal up your offensive lineman's ankle, right? They can't get Milrose sacked. What can they do? What can Tiger Stadium at night give you guys against Bama?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think like any other stadium, they create a vibe in there that's very difficult for when opposing teams come in there to feel comfortable. Like this is a normal atmosphere that creates an environment where you're unsettled. Now, look, you got to play well in there.
Of course.
And so our team has to go and play well. But we have traditionally, and you pointed out the numbers, we play well in Tiger Stadium. Our guys get up for playing at home and feel comfortable playing at home. You start by playing well, and then they feed off of that. During pregame, we finish up our little skelly, and then we start to head down to do goal line, and that's when Colin Baton Rouge hits.
Yep.
And it just feels like LSU. It just feels like it's just so different than anywhere else than I've ever been. And I've been to all of them, from USC to Penn State to Michigan. I've been all around the country, and that just makes it so unique when that song kicks on the loudspeakers.
It's funny. I literally got goosebumps because I pictured in my head I spent last night in the arms of a girl in Louisiana. And it breaks my heart because before we started, you asked, hey, are you coming down? Got stuff to do here this weekend. If I could, I would. I'll be watching like everybody else. I didn't ask a single X and O question because, honest to God, Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, it ain't going to matter, man. They're great. You're great. Put 60 minutes on the clock and we'll add it up, I guess, right?
That's right. Just go play. These kids will decide it on the field. I'll stay out of the way, and we'll have a great football game.
Enjoy it. I know you got stuff to do. As always, Brian, I appreciate your time. You stay well till next time, my friend.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you having me on.